In this video, as you can see in the preview here, we're gonna make a simple website with a sticky navbar that will stick to the top when scrolling down. Not only that, we're also gonna add a cool animation to the logo to make it change direction when scrolling up or down. By the way, before you get started, if you're here, I'm sure you want to become a programmer, and yes, here on YouTube you can learn a lot, but one of the best ways to actually improve, especially if you want to turn this into a career, is to take some courses made by experts in the field. Usually these courses are structured in a way that makes it easier for you to learn properly, and I've selected for you some of the best courses and learning platforms. You'll find the links in the description down below, and by using those links, you're gonna help this channel as well. Okay, so here I've got my HTML file. As you can see, the title, all the style sheets have been linked. Okay, as you can see, I've got Font Awesome style sheet because I'm gonna need that. And I've actually made a video about Font Awesome if you want to check that out to understand how to structure things. As you can see, this is the structure of my project. So I've got the index.html, then the images folder with a few images that I'm gonna use, then the CSS folder with my main CSS, and also the Font Awesome folder. I have live server running and also preacher running as well. So I've made videos about those as well. So if you want, you can go and check that out. I'll leave all the links in the description box down below. So first of all, I'm gonna add the header, and then inside the header, the nav. Okay, so like this. And inside of here, I'm gonna add the icon. And to get the icon, you can go here. So fontawesome.com, search. Then you can search for plain like this. You can select free, and then I've used the plain app. So you just click on that, and if you scroll down, you can just click on this and copy the code. Then you can go back to Visual Studio Code, and let's paste the icon there. All right. So in this case, I just have the logo as the link to get back to the home page. So basically, if you click on this icon, you get back to the home page. Of course, this is just because I don't have an home page. This is just the style. But of course, if you've got the home page or something, you just need to write the right link here. Of course, if you want to make this more accessible, you need to use the right area attribute, like maybe area label, to describe that link, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to sort of click on it, because of course this is just visual, and if you can't see, you can't understand that, you just need to click on that. All right. Of course, this video is not about accessibility, but I just wanted to mention it because you need to make sure that the whole thing is completely accessible. Just a side note. Let's actually close this. All right. So then I'm going to add a few links. I'm just going to do something like this, 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 and this. Okay. This link here is going to be search flight. This link here, destinations, timetable, your bookings. Okay, so something like this. Then to make things a little bit better, I'm going to add a little bit of content to the web page. Okay, so after the header, I'm going to add a div with the ID main container. Instead of this div, I'm going to have a section and then a title for the section. So top 10 if you love the water, just something like that. Then div with a class images container, and inside of this a few images. So I've got two images. The first one is going to be images water 1, and then the second one is going to be images water 2, like that. Of course, I'm not gonna write the old text, etc., because as I said, this is just to show you. These images, as I've shown you, are here. All right, so you've got those, and all of them have the same size. Okay, so everything works properly. They are 1280 pixels by 853, something like that. Then down here, after the div, I'm going to add a paragraph, and inside of this, a little bit of text. Okay, like that. Perfect. And then I'm just going to copy this and do something like this. Okay, so 2 paragraphs, and then I'm just going to copy the whole section. So I'm going to do this 1, 2. Okay, so you've got one section, the second section. By the way, if you like this channel and you want to support it, you can do that with a little one-off donation or by becoming a member of my Patreon, and also by using the affiliate links below to get things like amazing courses to improve your programming skills. You'll find everything in the description box down below, and thank you so much for the support. The second section is going to be something different, so it's going to be of course the images are different, so this is going to be that, and this is going to be the second one. Then here I just want one paragraph, okay, because there are different sections. And the last one is going to be forgive me if I make any typos, because obviously I'm typing fast and not checking a lot. So winter 2, the same one paragraph like this. Let's save it. Okay, so obviously this is not going to look pretty. As you can see, this is what we've got, okay? Because now, of course, we need to style it, and we love to style things, right? So let's go to our main CSS, all right? The first thing we are going to do is a little reset. All right, and then the box sizing is going to be border box. The body is going to have the background color 001932, something like this. The header is going to have the same exact color with 100%. Height is going to be 80 pixels. The margin bottom 20 pixels, and then box shadow 0. Then display flex, justify content center, and transition, because of course we are going to create some cool transitions as well, so we need to have it here. Okay, so half a second. Let's style the icon, so font size 35 pixels. Because I'm using a font awesome icon, I can just do whatever I want with color, font size, etc, etc. Transition is going to be transform 0.4 seconds. Then down here I'm going to do something like header nav. As you can see, I'm using the right tags because it's really important for accessibility. It's not good to use just divs, etc, because you know you just want to use right tags. Display flex, of course, and then align items center, and justify content left. As you can see, I've used the max width. I've used 1366 because I've seen that this is a good max width and it's quite used around. So then, of course, I want to style the links. So text decoration, none. Color, white. Font size, 20 pixels. Margin, 20 pixels. Transition color 15 seconds like this. So let's see what we've got. As you can see, it's already looking a little bit better, and I've seen a typo already here. So let's go back here, search. As I said, bear with me because I'm typing really fast and I'm not really checking, so bear with me if I make typos. And we are going to do something like this. So now hover, and I want the text decoration to be underlined. Okay, so when we go like this, really subtle, you've got this underline. Okay, the section are going to be something like this. So color white, okay, with 100% max width, the same. Padding top actually 10 pixels. Display is going to be flex wrap, going to be wrap, and then justify content center. Okay, then down here we need to change also the H1. Okay, and then margin bottom 30 pixels. The padding is going to be 0.30 pixels, 0.30 pixels, and the font size, of course, 30 pixels, like this. So now you've got the text, the white text, and of course we need to also style the images container, and we want to do something like this. So width 100% like this. Then margin bottom 30 pixels, padding 30 pixels, 30 pixels, display flex, and also justify content is going to be space between, and then last but not least, images container, image 48. So let's see what we've got. As you can see, that looks so much better. And I think that we need also to style the main container. We can actually do that up here, okay? By the way, if you're enjoying the video, please give it a like and also subscribe to the channel as well. I'm gonna post a lot of other videos like this and you don't want to miss them. And we can do something like main container, and that is going to be with 100%, padding bottom 50 pixels, display flex direction, column, line items, center. All right, so as you can see this, but as you can see down here, the paragraph is not aligned. So we probably need to add a little bit of style to the paragraph as well. So let's do something like with 100%, then margin bottom 30 pixels, and then the padding the same as the others. Okay, so we sort of align that. Let's see what we've got. So much better now, right? So much better. Of course, this could be centered if you like that centered. So you could do something like text align center. Okay, so if you think that this looks better like this, just do it. All right, so now that we've got everything in place, as you can see, the navbar is not fixed at the top. Okay, so we can go ahead and see how we can stick that to the top. First of all, let's go back to the main CSS file. Up here, okay, we can add a style for when the user scrolls, and I'm going to show you fixed first, okay, position fixed first, and then another way to actually do that, and how to create the cool logo animation. Okay, so up here we can do something like header, scrolled, okay, and then background color, that is going to be 00356A. The box shadow is going to be 0.015 pixels, and then black, something like this. And then of course position fixed, but of course we need to also add this class when scrolling, right? So we need to basically do this with JavaScript, and let's actually go to our index.html file. Down here we can do like script. You can have a separate file if you want to. I just do this for the sake of simplicity. So let's do something like this. So document, add event listener, scroll, okay? So this event when the user scrolls, then const header, query selector, header, like this. So when the page is scrolled, we need a way to understand where we are on the page, so that we can actually add or remove the class scrolled accordingly. Luckily, there is a window property which is scroll y that will tell you how much the page has been scrolled. Okay, 0 means we are at the top, and as we scroll down, the number will increase. Let's actually see that with the console like this. So window scroll y. Okay, so we're actually printing this property. Let's go back here, okay, and let's open the developer tools. Let's go to the console like this. Okay, so as you can see, I'm scrolling down, and here you've got the pixels. So up at the top we've got 0. As you can see down here we've got 0, and then as you scroll down, that number increases and then it goes back to 0. Okay, so this actually tells you how much you scrolled down. So now that we know this information, we can actually add or remove the class scrolled when we actually need to. Okay, in this case, I'm adding the class when scroll y is greater than 0. So basically, as soon as the user scrolls, even just a few pixels, the class will be added, and then I remove it when scroll y is again 0, which means that we go back to the top. Okay, so let's actually do that. I'm just going to comment that out. So if window scroll y is greater than 0, okay, then we get the header element, class list, we add the class scrolled, and then if we are back to 0, which means that window.scrollY is not greater than 0, so basically, as I said, we are back at the top, then we remove the class scrolled like this. By the way, if you like this channel and you want to support it, you can do that with a little one-off donation or by becoming a member of my Patreon, and also by using the affiliate links below to get things like amazing courses to improve your programming skills. You'll find everything in the description box down below, and thank you so much for the support. Okay, so let's see what we've got. So as you can see, that works. Okay, the color changes, etc. And the navbar is fixed at the top. But have you noticed that as soon as the class is added, all the content below the navbar moves up and goes beneath it? So as you can see, let's scroll down slightly. As you can see, look at the H1, okay? It goes straight, it jumps up, and it goes straight beneath the navbar. And this happens because the position fixed removes the navbar from the flow of the content, which means that for all the elements here, the navbar doesn't exist anymore, and so they move upwards to fill the space that was occupied by the navbar. And this is a common thing that I see even in professional websites. It's not a big deal, but there is an easy fix to this, so why not fix it, right? So to do that, we could add a margin top to the main container. Okay, so to this container, we could add a margin top with a value equal to the height of the header. Okay, so in this case, 80 pixels. And of course, we would add this when we start scrolling. So when we start scrolling at this specific moment, when we fix the navbar at the top, we add the 80 pixels margin top to the whole thing down here. And of course, that would move everything down 80 pixels and you wouldn't notice the difference. But there is also a better way to do that, and it's also easier, which is using sticky. Okay, so let's go back to our CSS file. So let's go back here, main CSS. First of all, we need to comment this out because we're not gonna need that anymore. I just wanted to show you just how to use fixed as well. Okay, so up here, the header, I'm going to do something like position sticky, okay, and then top 0, because you're gonna tell the browser where you want this to stick. So basically now, as you can see, you don't have that sort of jump anymore. As you can see, the whole content stays there, because when you use sticky, the element is not removed from the flow of the content. So basically, although this is fixed at the top, then for all the elements down here, this is still here, if that makes sense. Okay, so as you can see, that works so much better. All right, so this is how you can use sticky. Now though, we need to create the animation for the logo, which is the coolest thing that you will learn here, in my opinion. So first of all, we need to go down here, okay, and first of all, let's add a style for when the header has the class down, okay, and then we'll write a little bit of JavaScript again to make things work. Okay, so header down, and here transform, rotate 180. So let's go back to our index.html. So here, okay, so first of all, up here, we're going to add a variable, and then I'll explain you how this works. Let, as you can see, I'm using let because we're going to change the value of this variable, and we need to use let. Starting position is going to be window scroll y. Okay, so we're going to actually have the starting position when we open the website for the first time, then we get the starting position, which is 0, of course, at the beginning. So to be able to change the direction of the airplane, we need to understand which direction we are scrolling in. So basically, as soon as we load the page, as I said, we save the current scrolling position in the variable. Okay, of course, this should be 0 at first because we haven't started scrolling yet. Then when the scroll event is triggered, which means that the user is scrolling, we need to check if the position after the user scrolled is greater than the starting position. Okay, if so, the user is scrolling down and we need to add the class down. Let's first log the position so that you can actually understand what I'm talking about. So down here, we're going to do something like starting and starting position, and then current scroll Y, like this. Of course, at the end of the cycle, if you will, we need to update the starting position to the current position so that next cycle, basically, we have the right starting position. So basically down here, we can do something like starting position. Don't worry if that doesn't make sense, because it will make sense in a second. Okay, so we do this, and then we can actually do something like okay, and then separator like this. So let's actually see how this works, and listen carefully because it could be quite difficult to understand at first. So I've just opened the developer tools. All right, let's start scrolling a little bit down. First of all, I want to point out that when you scroll down, the event is triggered more than once. So for example, if you start scrolling down, as you can see, the event was triggered a lot of times. Okay, so let's just go back up. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let's actually just scroll a little bit down like this. Okay, let's start from the top and let's actually go back to this, to the JavaScript code. Okay, so as soon as you load the page for the first time, you save the starting position, so the windows.scrollY in this variable here, the starting position variable. And then once the user starts scrolling, if you go down here, you then print the starting position. So at first, the starting position is of course 0, because this 0 here is the position when the page loaded. So basically when we save the starting position up here. Okay, then the current position is 1.6 pixels. Okay, so at this specific moment in time, we scrolled down 1.6 pixels. Okay, that was the position at that specific moment. And then what do? We actually update the starting position to the Windows scroll Y. So at that specific moment, the current position is not 0 anymore, but it becomes 1.6. Then we keep scrolling, and now the starting position, because we updated it, is 1.6, because it's basically, here we scrolled from 0 to 1.6, then here we started from 1.6 and we went down to 4. So at this specific moment in time, the position was 4 pixels down, and then we update again for the next cycle. So the next cycle, we get the starting position 4, because as I said here, after printing that, we update the position, so the next time the event is triggered, then we get the new starting position. So if you scroll down here, so the last time the event was triggered, the starting position was 8.8, and the current position right now is 11.2. Okay, that means that, as you can see, we scrolled down once, but the event was triggered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So right now we are down 11.2 pixels. So let's go back to the browser. Let's scroll down a little bit more. Let's scroll down. As you can see, the event is triggered a lot of times when you just scroll down. And as you can see, the starting position is always less than the current position, of course, because we're scrolling down, right? I hope that makes sense. And when we scroll back up, as you can see, it works the other way around. So the starting position was 100 and the current position is 96. Why? Because we're scrolling in the opposite direction. Okay, we're scrolling up. And as you can see, if you go back to the top, then last time the starting position was 4.8 and the current position is 0, because we are back at the top. So I hope that everything is clear now, because that's what we're going to use to actually understand the direction. So if the starting position, so at the beginning of the event, is greater than the position at the end of the event, so in this case, for example, that means that we're scrolling up. And as you can see, when we scroll down, the starting position is less than the current position. So the current position is greater than the starting position. I understand that this could be quite confusing, so let's recap real quick. So basically, when we scroll down, the scroll event is triggered more than once. So as you can see, a lot of times. So each time the event is triggered, we get the starting position, which was the position at the end of the previous event. Okay, so here, as you can see, current, and then we update it. So the starting position of this event is the last position of this event, right? Then the current position is at the end of the event. Then we update the position, and then the starting position of the last event was 208 because there was the last position of this event here, the previous event, and now the current position is 210. We stopped, so this is the last position, but when we start scrolling again, the starting position down here of the next event will be 210 because we've just updated it. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So now that we know this concept and the concept is clear, we can actually use this to add or remove the class down according to the scrolling direction. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code. We can actually just delete that. The starting position needs to be updated anyway, so we can actually leave that there. So now that we know this, we can actually use that to add and remove the class down according to the scrolling direction. So if the window scroll Y is greater than the starting position, we said that we are scrolling down, right? So we need to add the class down like this. On the other hand, if the starting position is greater than the scroll Y, it means that we're scrolling up and we need to remove the class down, like this. Of course, as I said earlier, after checking the position, we need to update the starting position for the next cycle. And in this case, we are doing that here. So let's actually see if that works. Okay, so let's try. As you can see, we scroll down and it goes down, the airplane here. We scroll up and then we can just scroll up and down and the airplane changes direction, which is so cool. If you're still watching, well done. I'm proud of you because we've covered a lot of things. And if you're still here, that means that you really want to learn things. So well done. I'm sure you'll enjoy this other video on the screen as well. Also, don't forget to check out all the links in the description down below. Like the video if you liked it and subscribe to the channel as well if you want to become a better programmer. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.